Hello viewers. Today we are discussing one of the important topic, that is negotiable instruments. In terms of doing business activities, if you want to purchase goods on credit basis, if you want to sell goods on credit basis, these kind of financial arrangements are very much required. For making financial arrangements, what we will do in the sense, we will issue of certain instruments called negotiable instruments. See, we have three major kinds of negotiable instruments. They are promissory notes, bill of exchange, and checks. In some cases, even we will accept demand drafts also. Let us understand how relating to the theory part relating to negotiable instruments. You can see here, negotiable instrument, the provisions relating to negotiable instrument was laid down in one act called Negotiable Instrument Act of 1881. It is based on English common law and it has been came into force from 1st March 1882, and this act will extend to whole of India. Let us know the meaning of this negotiable instrument. The word negotiable instrument means transferable. That means negotiable means transferable. That is, we can easily transfer these from one person to another person by one simple process called endorsement. We will come to know what do you mean by endorsement in the later part. What do you mean by instrument? In the sense, a written document by which a right is created in favor of some other person, and this written document will have certain value. That is very much important thing. Okay, the term, in conclusion, the term negotiable instrument means a written document which is transferable by delivery from one person to another person, which is having a value. Okay, so next we will discuss the definition of these negotiable instruments. According to Negotiable Instrument Act of 1881, negotiable instrument means promissory notes, bill of exchange, or checks payable either to the order or to the bearer. What do you mean by this? In the sense, see, negotiable instruments is of three types: promissory notes, bill of exchange, and checks. These three instruments will be payable either on order. It means that for whom the person, whom to make the payment as according to the instrument, for them we will make up the payment, or to the bearer of that instrument. That means the person who is having those kind of instrument, for that person we will make the payment. Next, let us discuss certain characteristics of negotiable instrument. In that first one, negotiable instrument should be in writing and signature is a must. Negotiable instrument will be in a written form, and it should be signed by the parties who are involved in terms of making either promissory notes, bill of exchanges, and even the checks. Next one, money. That means negotiable instruments will be payable in legal tender money. That is, in India we will accept rupees. In terms, that value should be stated, and even the payment has to be made in rupees only. Next, negotiability. That means already we have discussed, negotiability means transferability from one person to another person by a simple process called endorsement. Next, it must be in writing. Here the definition of writing means it may be handwritten or even may be typed, and even computer print also will be accepted as negotiable instrument. Next one, easy transferability. That's what we have already discussed. A negotiable instrument is freely transferable by one simple process called endorsement. That means signing on the back side of these instruments, we can transfer this negotiable instrument to some other person. Next, the payment. That instrument must involve a payment of certain sum of money. That means it should assure to make certain amount of money to other person. Next, you can see here the payee must be a certain person. Who is payee here? Payee means the person one who is actually getting the benefit from this negotiable instrument. That person has to be specified. The instrument should specify the name, or it should indicate name of the person who is getting benefit from this negotiable instrument. Here the payee may involve, or even the payee refers to what? In the sense, any individual, body of corporate or trade unions, one secretary, director or chairman of any institution. Here, payee may be more than one person also. Next one, delivery. See, in terms of this negotiable instrument, delivery is essential one. By delivering only, negotiable instrument will be accepted and that will be paid. Okay, you can see one example here. You may issue a check in your brother's name, but it is not a negotiable instrument till it is given to your brother. You may issue one check to your friend, brother, or father, or somebody. Okay, even if friends also, for any other persons also. See, if it is given to them, then only it is a negotiable instrument. Otherwise, we will not calling it as a negotiable instrument. Next one, right to file suit. In case of any defaults, that means any problems or misuses arises, there may be a chances to file a cases also. This is also one of the important feature of this negotiable instrument. Next, let us understand what are the types of these negotiable instruments. In that first one we have promissory note. So you can see these three are the types of negotiable instruments: promissory note, bill of exchange and checks. First one in that promissory note. What do you mean by promissory note? In the sense, a signed document containing a written promise to pay a stated sum to a specified person or to the bearer at a specified date or on demand. Very important thing. See here, one person will promise some other person to pay a certain sum of money either to the bearer of that instrument or to the person who has specified in that instrument within a stipulated period. For that we will calling it as promissory note. Very important thing we just need to understand is that a promissory note is a financial instrument that contains a written promise. That means whatever the promise we are making, that should be in written form. That will be made by one party in favor of some other party. Okay, it will be payable either on demand or at a specified future date. Very important thing here, promissory note will be made by the debtor. It will be accepted by the creditor. Okay. Next, definition of this promissory note. Negotiable Instrument Act defines promissory note as an instrument in writing containing an unconditional undertaking. It means that there should not be involvement of any condition. Let us understand this with an example. See, Mr. A is promising to pay Mr. B a sum of rupees 50,000. Okay. Mr. A is promising Mr. B to pay a sum of rupees 50,000. On the other hand, if Mr. A is telling that if you are providing 100 units of output, then only I will pay. In the sense here, condition is involved. If that condition is involved, then we will not calling it as a promissory note. We just need to keep in our mind. It should not supposed to contain or it should not supposed to have any condition. It should be unconditional. Okay, and it should be signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. We will pay to specified person or to the bearer of that instrument. Next, see, we will understand the concept of this promissory note with this diagram. Here, promissory note will be made by the debtor. That person we will calling it as drawer. Okay, and it will be accepted by the creditor. That person will calling it as drawee. Okay, very important thing. Here, debtor means the person who owes money to the business. It means that who owes in the sense who should pay the money. Okay, creditor is a person to whom the business owes money. That means he will receive the money. In the context of that, debtor is the payer, creditor is the receiver. Promissory note will be made by the payer to the receiver. Okay, next, this is what the specimen. Here you can see promissory note involving a promise to pay a certain money to some other person. It should be duly signed, stamped, and also date also indicated in promissory note. Next, let us discuss essential features of this promissory note. Already we have discussed promissory note is a written document. It should be in writing. And there must be clear and unconditional promise. Already have said It's not supposed to have any condition. If the condition is there, then we will not calling it as a promissory note. Next one, it must be drawn and duly signed by the maker. The person who is making this promise, that person has to sign, and even the stamp is very much required in terms of this promissory note. And also it should specify name of the maker and the payee. Who is the maker, who is the payee? That means who is the debtor, who is the creditor, who is the drawer or who is the drawee. That names has to be indicated. Next, the amount to be paid must be certain. That means the amount or the value or sum of rupees has to be stated both in figures and also in words. And payment is to be made in country's legal currency, that is in our country will accept rupees. Okay, these are all certain essential features of promissory note. Let us discuss parties of promissory note. Here only two parties are involved. One is drawer, another one is drawee. Drawer, otherwise called as a debtor or maker. Okay, the one who makes the promise to some other person, for that person we will calling it as drawer. Okay, who is making that promise? That person is a drawer. Who is receiving that kind of benefit or who will get the amount, that person we will calling it as drawee. Otherwise he is called as creditor, and even otherwise it is this person is called as payee also. Next, let us understand bill of exchange. See, bill of exchange is also one type of negotiable instrument which contains an order to pay a certain amount to a particular person within a stipulated period of time. See, promissory note, here promise, some person will promise to pay certain money to some other person. But bill of exchange, it will contain certain order to pay a certain amount of money to a person within a stipulated period or within a period of time. Okay, see here, bill of exchange will be issued by creditor to the debtor. See, promissory note will be made by the debtor and it will be accepted by the creditor. But here, bill of exchange will be issued by the creditor and it will be given to the debtor for acceptance. If the debtor accepts, then only that bill of exchange is valid. That we just need to keep in our mind. In simple terms, promissory note is a promise to pay certain amount of money. Here, debtor will make the promissory note. Bill of exchange, it is an order to pay a certain amount of money. Here, creditor will make up this bill of exchange. See, definition says bill of exchange can be understood as a written negotiable instrument that carries an unconditional order to pay a certain specific sum of money to a designated person or to the holder of the instrument. See here, bill of exchange should also not involve any condition. If condition involved, we cannot call it as a bill of exchange, even negotiable instrument at all. Okay, and here it will be indicating certain order to pay a certain amount of money to some other person. Bill of exchange is either payable on demand or at the specified term also. Let us know, or actually you can see here specimen of bill of exchange. Here it is also. See, bill of exchange will be created by the creditor and it will be accepted by the debtor. That you just need to remember. It is very important thing. Even it is also required stamping, even sign is also required here. Okay, let us discuss features of this bill of exchange. It is also instrument in writing. It will also contain an unconditional order. Here, very important thing, third point you can see, here three parties are involved. Who are these three parties? Drawer, drawee and the payee. Drawer in bill of exchange is creditor. Drawee here debtor. Payee maybe even the drawer also, or in some cases maybe different persons also. In most of the cases, drawer and the payee. That means who is making the bill and who is receiving the benefit in terms of this bill of exchange will be similar persons. Okay, the parties to bill of exchange must be certain. That means who are involved in terms of getting benefit, who is making this bill of exchange, everything, that person name has to be indicated. Next, the drawer must sign the bill. Who is making the bill? That person has to sign. It should be properly stamped as like promissory note. Next, the parties of bill of exchange. Already I have said three parties has been involved. Drawer or the maker, drawee and the payee. Drawer here refers to the person who is making this bill of exchange. In simple terms, we will call him as a creditor. Okay, drawee, the person on whom bill is drawn, is a person who owes money. That means he should pay the money. Drawer is a receiver of money in bill of exchange. Drawee is a person who has to pay certain money to the other person. Next, payee is a person to whom the money is payable. In most of the cases, the drawer and the payee will be the same person. These three parties has been involved in terms of bill of exchange. Let us know and discuss the difference between promissory note and bill of exchange. You can see here modes, promissory notes and bill of exchange. First one in that, number of parties. In a promissory note, only two persons are involved, that is maker or the drawer and the drawee. Only two persons. Who is a drawer here? Debtor. Who is a drawee here? Creditor. In terms of promissory note. But when it comes to the bill of exchange, three parties are involved. Who are they? Drawer, drawee and payee. Here in bill of exchange, drawer is the creditor, drawee is the debtor, payee is again the creditor. Okay, we just need to remember these three things. Next, maker and payee. Here maker cannot be the payee. That means who is making the promise, who will receive the benefit will not be same in terms of promissory note. But in case of bill of exchange, drawer and the payee may be one. That means who is making that bill of exchange and who is receiving the benefit from bill of exchange may be the same. Next, it is in terms of promise and order. Promissory note is a promise to make the payment, whereas bill of exchange is an order for making the payment. Next one, acceptance. Promissory note requires no acceptance as it is signed by person who is liable to pay. That means debtor will indicate the creditor that I will pay certain amount to you. So there is no necessity of requirement of acceptance. But when it comes to the bill of exchange, as creditor is indicating the debtor to pay certain amount of money, debtor should accept. Okay, otherwise it is not valid. Next one, nature of liability. Liability of maker is primary and absolute. It means that if he fails to make up the payment, he is liable for the creditor. But in case of bill of exchange, the liability of drawer is secondary and conditional. Okay, secondary and conditional. Here we just need to understand, here three parties has been involved, drawer, drawee and payee. In terms of that, if drawer and the payee are different, if drawee fails to make up the payment, that relationship, that nature of liability, will calling it as secondary and conditional. Next one, notice of dishonor. No notice is necessary for the maker. Okay, for dishonor, if he fails to make, the notice of dishonor is not required. But in case of notice of dishonor must be given by the holder who is having the bill of exchange in case of bill of exchange. So let us discuss last important type of negotiable instrument, that is check. See, we are all familiar with the usage of these checks in terms of making financial arrangements. If you want to make payment to some other person, if we have an account in bank, what we will just do in the sense, we'll provide these checks to some other person, they will get benefit and the amount will be paid through the bank account also. Let us understand what do you mean by checks, what are the types of checks, what is general information relating to these checks, and also crossing of checks also. You can see the meaning. A check is a document that orders a bank. Okay, here order is required in terms of that a bank will accept these checks and it will make the payment based on the order issued by a customer. Let us consider one example. Mr. A is a person who is having one bank account in Canara Bank. As Mr. A want to pay 50,000 rupees to Mr. B. What he will do in the sense, he will provide one check to Mr. B, which is drawn in favor of Mr. B, and Mr. B will accept that. And if he presenting the check to the bank will make the payment to Mr. B. This is what the proper procedure we will follow in terms of making payment relating to checks. You can see here, check is a document that orders a bank to pay a specified amount of money. Here in the example, specified amount of money is there. It also indicating the name of the person who is getting benefit. Okay, and it is also indicating who is providing that benefit. Okay, in terms of that, a check is also a negotiable instrument which is very much widely used in the present context. Let us discuss definition of check. Check is an instrument in writing. It will contain an unconditional order again. You just need to remember unconditional. It should not supposed to have any condition. Which is addressed to a banker. It will be signed by the person who has deposited money with the banker. Who is depositing money? Customer. Okay. If the customer is telling in the sense, bank will pay certain amount of money to the person. It will be payable either on demand or even before the date of maturity to order of certain person or to the bearer of instrument. Even the amount will be paid to a specific person based on the order. Okay, and also even based on bearer of instrument also. You can see here specimen of check. See here, payee name is required, amount in words and also figure is required, date of issue is also required, and signature. Okay, signature is a must. Otherwise, banks will not accept and they will not make the payment. This is the specimen. You can see check number. It will be having 6 digits, MICR code 9 digits, account ID with RBI. Okay, it is also having 6 digits and transaction code also. Everything will be indicated in the checks. See, very important thing. Check has to be paid by a bank. It should be properly signed by the maker, and amount has to be specified both in figures and also in words. Okay. Next, let us understand features of checks. Check is an instrument in writing. Already I have said it is an instrument in writing. Writing here refers to what again? See, printed checks will also be acceptable as of now. Recent banking innovations will be familiarized with this usage of checks also. Check is drawn by a customer on his bank. It will be drawn by a customer on his bank. That means that if a person is having one account in particular bank, he can draw that check based on the terms which is prevailing in the check. Next, check must be signed by the customer. That means who is providing that benefit, he has to sign on the check. Next, check must be payable on demand. It must be payable on demand based on the requirement of the person who has to get the benefit. Next, check must be mentioned exact amount to be paid. That means amount which has to be paid in terms of these checks has to be indicated both in writing and also that is in figures also and even in words also. Checks must be duly dated by the customer of bank. Very importantly, date is very much required in terms of making payment of these checks. Next one, who are the parties involved in these checks are drawer, drawee and the payee. Here, 3 parties again involved. The person who draws the check, that is signs and orders the bank to pay the amount. That person we will calling it as drawer. Otherwise, customer of a bank who is writing the check, that person we will calling it as a drawer. Here the drawee is the bank. Payee the beneficiary who is getting the amount. For that person we will calling it as a payee. These 3 are the parties involved in checks. Next, let us discuss types of checks. First one you can see bearer check. What do you mean by this? In the sense, name of the person will not be indicated in check. That kind of checks we will calling it as bearer check. Okay, we can present these kind of checks in the counters. By that we will get the payment also. Our amount will be paid at the counters. Okay, that kind of checks we will calling it as bearer checks. Next, order checks. Here, order means we will indicate the name of a person to whom the amount has to be paid. For that person only, we will make up the payment. Those kind of checks we will calling it as order checks. Next, say you can see specimens relating to order check and also bearer check. Okay. Next, types of checks. Again, uncrossed check. Uncrossed check, otherwise called as open check. That means payment of these kind of checks can be obtained at the counter of the bank who presents it to the bank for payment. Anybody who is holding these kind of checks can go to a bank to get the payment or to get the amount which is there in the check. Okay. Next one, crossed check. A crossed check is any check that is crossed with two parallel lines. You can see on the left hand corner side of a check, two parallel lines will be drawn. It indicates that for that person only, amount will be paid to a particular account. Okay, not to that person in terms of making the cash. The amount will be paid only to a particular account of a bank based on the customer whose name that crossing has been done. Okay, next. See, this is what the example here you can see on the left side corner, two parallel lines has been drawn. Based on that, we are indicating that for that person only will make the payment and amount will not be paid in cash, amount will be paid to the customer account or the name of that account holder only. Next, antedated check. You can see here, when a particular check which bears a date earlier the date on which it is presented to the bank. That means antedated. Okay. It means that we have presented the check before the actual payment of these kind of checks. Before, if we are presenting in the sense, that is antedated. Post-dated in the sense, after what we will do in the sense, we will present this kind of checks. A post-dated check cannot be handled earlier than the date of check. Okay. Very important thing. As for example, if you just consider, see, after Mr. A is paying Mr. B a sum of rupees 50,000, for that Mr. A is issued one check based on that, say post dated, if a check bears date which is yet to come, that means for future period or the future date, what we will do in the sense, we will make up or we will provide this kind of checks. Next, stale check. If a check is presented for payment after 6 months from the date of the check, it is a stale check. A stale check is not honored by the bank. That means after the maturity period, what we will do in the sense, we will present these kind of checks, that is stale check. We'll just revise the types of checks. You can see here, bearer, that means a simple words, check which is payable to any person who presents it for the payment. Here, name of that person will not be indicated. Order, name should be indicated. Cross means two parallel lines will be drawn on the left side and it indicates name of the person to whom the amount will be paid and that amount will be paid to the particular bank account. Uncrossed, otherwise it is called open check. Who is presenting that in the counter, the amount will be paid to them. Next, antedated. Antedated in the sense, when a check which bears a date earlier than the date on which it is presented to the bank. Earlier date in the sense, antedated. Future dated in the sense, post dated. Stale in the sense, after the expiry or maturity, if we are presenting that, the amount will not be paid. Okay, that check we will calling it as stale check. Next, let us understand difference between check and bill of exchange. Check is always drawn on a bank. Bill of exchange usually draws on a person or firm. See here, the drawee is bank in terms of checks. Bill of exchange, drawee is the debtor, maybe any person or firm or any business concerns. Next, always pay on demand. Check will be paid on demand. Bill of exchange will be paid on demand or on expiry period also. It doesn't require stamp. Check doesn't require stamp, but bill of exchange requires stamp. It can be crossed. Checks can be crossed. Now only we have discussed crossing of checks. Okay, bill of exchange, it cannot be crossed. Notice of dishonor is not required for the checks. Bill of exchange, notice of dishonor is required. only banker can be the drawee. That means here very important thing, banker is a person who is making the payment which has been indicated as according to the customer. In terms of checks, only the banker can be the drawee, but in bill of exchange, anyone can be the drawee, including even the banker also. Let us understand difference between checks and promissory note. First one, drawer is creditor, must have an account in the bank. Very important thing here, the person who is writing the check should have one account in the bank. Then only checks can be made. Otherwise, it is not possible. When it comes to promissory note, maker owns some money to another person. Here, one person is promising to pay some other person certain amount of money. Here, account is not required. Next one, checks involves three parties: drawer, drawee, and payee. Drawer is the customer, drawee is the banker, and payee is the person who is getting the benefit or to whom the amount is paid. But in terms of promissory note, only two persons are involved: drawer and drawee. Drawer, otherwise called as maker or debtor. Okay, who is writing the promissory note. The drawee, the person who is getting the benefit. Otherwise, is called as creditor or the payee. Okay. Check contains order to drawee. It means that drawer will order the drawee to pay certain amount of money. Here, the drawer will promise to pay certain amount of money to the drawee in terms of promissory notes. Always payable on demand. Check is always payable on demand, but when it comes to promissory notes, it will be payable either on demand or on a fixed date or even determinable future time also. Next topic we have crossing of checks. Already we have discussed what do you mean by crossing of checks or crossed checks. Crossed checks in the sense drawing of two parallel lines on the left side top corner of a check indicating the name of the person to whom that amount will be paid to the particular bank account. In terms of this, we have two types. One is general crossing, another one is special crossing. What do you mean by this general crossing in the sense? Drawing of two parallel lines, that is simple lines on the face of the check at the top left hand corner with or without the words and company not negotiable or account payee only is known as general crossing. That means only these three things we will indicate: account payee, not negotiable, or our company, okay, and company. These kind of words are there in the sense. For this we will calling it as general crossing. Here we will not specify the name of the person, okay, but in special crossing you can see here a check is deemed to be crossed especially when it bears across its face the name of the banker either with or without the words not negotiable. In case of special crossing, the payment can only be made to the bank name there in the check. Very important thing here, amount will be paid only to the bank which is named there in the check. Okay, next one, endorsement. What do you mean by this endorsement in the sense? See, we have already discussed negotiable means transferable. Transferable in the sense easily we can transfer these negotiable instruments from one person to another person. If we are transferring this negotiable instrument, we just need to use of one simple process called endorsement. What do you mean by this in the sense? Putting the signature on the back side of this negotiable instrument for transferring this to some other person. That process we will calling it as endorsement. Okay, the endorsement is done by the payee or endorsee as the case may be signing on the instrument contemporarily on its back and where the space is insufficient. That means for making this endorsement, what they will do in the sense, they will sign on the back side. If the space is insufficient, they will attach some other slip. Okay, that slip or piece of paper, that piece of paper we will calling it as a lange. Very important question for 2 marks. Next, let us discuss the types of endorsement. First one you can see blank endorsement. If the endorser signs his name, only the endorsement is said to be the blank and it becomes payable to bearer, for example, mobile uk. That means that if he is just signing on the backside of a negotiable instrument, then we will calling it as blank endorsement. Nothing other things will be done. Okay, blank endorsement in the sense a person or the payee or the drawee will transfer this by signing on the backside of this negotiable instrument. That is blank endorsements or blank endorsements. Special or full endorsement. An endorsement in full means or a special endorsement is one where the endorser not only puts his signature but also writes the name of a person to whom or whose order the payment is to be made. That means that in the blank only the signature will be done on the back side of the negotiable instrument. But in special or full endorsements, along with making the signature, the name of the person to whom the negotiable instrument is transferred will be indicated. That is special or full endorsement. Next one, conditional endorsement. Here, for transferring of this negotiable instrument, one condition is required. That condition will be stated in terms of transferring this negotiable instrument. Let us consider one example. So here you can see, pay to Mr. Shekhar or order after his marriage. That means that after his marriage only that amount will be paid. Here but condition is involved. For that we will calling it as conditional endorsement. Next one, restrictive endorsement. An endorsement is called restrictive when the endorser restricts or prohibits further negotiation. That means, say Mr. A is endorsing certain negotiable instrument to Mr. B. Okay, here he is restricting that Mr. B again he cannot transfer this negotiable instrument to some other person. That we will calling it as restrictive endorsement. Okay. Next, last one we have partial endorsement. Here partial endorsement means only part of the amount of bill is transferred or the amount of the bill is transferred to two or more endorsees. That we will calling it as partial endorsement. For example, if we just consider negotiable instrument we have issued. Okay. A negotiable instrument is there. It is having a value of rupees 50,000. Okay, that has been endorsed to some other person. In the context of that, in terms of this partial endorsement, for one person 10,000 endorsement has been done. For other person 40,000 endorsement has been done. Okay, amount, a part of the amount, if it is transferred to the other person or two or more endorsees, in the context of that we will calling it as partial endorsement. Thank you.